Welcome back to Psychonaut, the place where we explore the quiet corners of the human mind. Today's journey is for the quiet ones, the ones who feel everything, think deeply, and carry the weight of the world silently. Have you ever felt drained, not because of what you did, but simply because you had to exist around too much noise? Have you ever wanted to vanish into silence, but the world kept pulling you back out into its chaos? This is the story of introverts, when the mind becomes so overwhelmed that even solitude isn't enough. Let's talk about internal overload, social pressure, and the painful truth of not having any space left to simply breathe. Contrary to popular belief, introversion is not about being shy or antisocial. It's about where you recharge, and for introverts, that's in solitude. Introverts gain energy from being alone and expend it during social interaction. They process deeply. They observe, listen, and reflect. But in a world built for extroversion, full of constant communication, endless meetings, and performative energy, introverts are often forced to adapt, at a cost. And when they do it for too long, something begins to crack inside. Society often equates being outgoing with success. From job interviews to group projects, from dating to networking, we're told to smile more, speak up, put ourselves out there. But for introverts, this isn't just uncomfortable, it's exhausting. It's not natural to be constantly social, to engage in small talk, to attend back-to-back social events. Yet many introverts do it anyway, to fit in, to be liked, to be seen. And this forced extroversion comes with a price: social fatigue, emotional depletion, and sometimes a loss of self. Because when you spend too much time pretending to be someone you're not, you start forgetting who you are. When an introvert reaches their emotional limit, it doesn't always show on the outside. They don't yell, they don't explode. But inside, it's a different story. Racing thoughts that won't slow down. Emotional numbness that feels like apathy. Anxiety around even the smallest interactions. A desperate craving to be alone, but also guilt for needing it. This is internal overload, when your inner world becomes so saturated that there's no mental space left for even yourself. You start to feel like you're drowning in your own mind, and yet the world still asks you to show up. Burnout doesn't just happen from overworking, it also comes from overfeeling. Introverts are often highly sensitive to emotional stimuli. They pick up on moods, subtleties, body language, unspoken dynamics. Every conversation isn't just talk, it's data, it's stimulation, and over time, this invisible input adds up. Eventually, the mental bandwidth runs out. Tasks that once felt manageable now feel like mountains. Social interaction feels like a chore. Even rest doesn't feel restful anymore, because the mind is too full to truly disconnect. This is emotional burnout, not because of doing too much, but because of feeling too much for too long. Here's something many introverts never talk about: the guilt. Guilt for canceling plans. Guilt for not answering messages. Guilt for needing to say, "I just can't right now." Because society rewards availability. It praises those who are always present, always responsive, always open. But introverts often need time to process, to retreat, to exist in silence without explanation. And when this need is misunderstood, even by loved ones, it creates a painful tension. Do I honor my own limits? Or do I betray myself to keep the peace? For most introverts, solitude is the sanctuary. But sometimes, when internal overload has reached its peak, even solitude stops helping. You sit in silence, but the thoughts keep spinning. You stay in bed, but you don't feel rested. You're alone, but you still feel overwhelmed. This is when it becomes more than just introversion. It becomes a cry for healing, not just from social fatigue, but from years of suppressing your true rhythm, of pushing yourself to function in a way that never felt right. So how do we heal? Step 1. Acknowledge your needs unapologetically. You are not too sensitive. You are not weak. You are someone with a deep inner world, and that world needs care. Step 2. Set sacred boundaries. Not every call must be answered. Not every invitation must be accepted. You have the right to say, "Not today," and the people who love you will understand. Step 3. Create intentional solitude. Solitude is not isolation. It's connection with self. Turn off the noise. Step away from screens. Journal, walk, create. Not for productivity, but for presence. Step 4. Find your quiet community. Introverts don't need many people. They need meaningful connection. Find those who understand your silence and meet you there. Being an introvert in a loud world is not a flaw. It's a quiet form of power. You feel deeply. You think slowly, but profoundly. You bring stillness to chaos. You listen. You understand. But to keep giving your calm to the world, you must protect it first. Don't wait until your mind is a battlefield to rest. Don't wait until your soul is numb to say no. Protect your space. Honor your rhythm. And remember, you don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to be everywhere to matter. If this message resonated with your quiet soul, take a moment to breathe. And then if you feel called, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to explore more journeys into the human mind. At Psychonaut, we see you, even in your silence. See you in the next episode.